Let's give it a watch.
What is the relic on Mars? The power to create your own weapons.
This crafting system looks so cool. Like, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with it, because it's like, finally we can actually craft what like perks we want. The exotics look cool. This looks like pretty cool. I don't know how good it's gonna be. Like, this thing looks cool and fun to use, but I don't think it's gonna be very good. This is just recluse, and I can't wait to use it. It's gonna be so much fun to use. I'll be using that day one, 100%. The glaive looks fun. I'm ashamed the warlock one is just healing, but that does suit the class. So. The exotics look pretty cool. I don't think anyone's gonna be good. Like another like middle Triarch Raider one, which doesn't really make sense to be using. And since it's better hunter exotic, like Stumpies and stuff like that. You've got to find an exotic that really beats Stumpies for it to be worth using in PvP, which is clearly what it's designed for. So there you go. Pre-order. And all the stuff. Okay. I'll keep stream on and just AFK life skill for a bit while I sleep. But overall, we're gonna keep going.
I know what you're wondering.
Oh,
What
baby!
is true and what is false?
The Witch Queen is an unsettling mystery. Our biggest foe, Sabathun, has our grandest tool, the light.
Just paying off narrative threads that we planted way back in Destiny 1.
Yeah.
I'm here to protect humanity.
How do we stop this?
The stakes in the universe are rising, and it's the greatest challenge that we've ever faced.
We're shedding that dogma of light equals good, darkness equals bad. We're really entering the mists and trying to discern what's in front of us and what's lurking just underneath the surface.
What is your truth now?
There are a lot of bombshells in the Witch Queen narrative.
Really? Wouldn't have guessed.
Scratching the surface of what we're going to get into this year.
Oh baby, I'm excited. Let's see what we get.
Witch Queen and Season of the Risen is chapter 1 and the beginning of the end for the Light and Darkness saga.
We're really getting to the core of what it means to be a guardian.
These cutscenes, that's a new cutscene engine. These cutscenes look so good.
And darkness.
We have a big bad that we've been anticipating for a really long time coming back in the form of Sabathun.
My prediction, she doesn't die.
Sabathun's had a hand in most of the major conflicts that we've been involved with.
We've heard about Sabathun for years and just bits and pieces, and then like you see it slowly building over seasons until we come to this huge critical point.
Sabathun's no longer just someone you hear about.
She's not just interfering in little ways. She's now ready to take center stage.
Sight. 1, 2, 3.
Sabathun, she's larger than life. We wanted to make her feel imposing and very regal and dancing through motion in some way.
The light offers us a fresh start.
She's very manipulative. She is very ethereal, but she also has like that creepiness to her as well.
She promised she'd help us out with this pyramid ship problem that's coming our way. But the reality of the situation is Sabathun is only on Sabathun's side. We've outlived our purpose, and it is to Sabathun's benefit to wipe us off that chessboard.
She's lived among us. She has played us for fools. She knows us inside and out. And she's been a step ahead of us.
That Cyrus was massive. It was crazy to think that Cyrus the whole time was... I mean, a lot of people thought he was off.
Still be forgiven.
But the fact that he was Sabathun the whole time.
I'll hold you to it.
In order to beat Sabathun, you need to understand Sabathun.
Her throne world is a manifestation of Sabathun's own personality, which is in Witch Queen going through a transformation through the light.
She has these areas that she's kind of trying to shun and push away. For the old hive areas, it's much more atmospheric, it's very dense, it's very claustrophobic, it's spooky. Then when you make your way into the Lucent hive area, it's a lot more open and broad. It's definitely brighter, it's definitely more lively.
We want people to look at it like an impressionist painting, something that's very pretty from far away, but as you get closer, It's not really what it seems. It's very unsettling.
You're looking at shapes, you're looking at these things within the world, and you're not entirely sure what they are, and you have to get close and you have to investigate.
Hello, Misa.
What's really going to be exciting for players
Thanks
is
for the
that
happy
they're going to
birthday
get to
wishes and
play
stuff.
that part of psychic detective,
I'll
trying
do
to
some
solve
interaction
the
in a
many
bit.
mysteries of the throne world.
Witch Queen campaign, I think, is probably the most ambitious campaign we've made in a very
Please,
long time.
thank you. That's what I needed to hear.
We're building the Definitively Destiny campaign, so leaning into the journey you can find in exotic missions or the mechanics you might find in a dungeon.
You have to kind of think your way through. You have to figure out, like, hey, what do I need to do next in order to get to the end of this?
We've got Sabathun, right? The Queen of Lies. So this campaign is full of surprises.
Sabathun has all these abilities, and you got to make sure that all of the abilities of the bosses would be something worthy of her. And as I kept thinking about this, you know, I felt like I was really becoming Sabathun.
We've also added the legendary difficulty.
I'm excited for this as well.
Become Legend.
It's
The legendary
not for the faint of heart.
difficulty is
It's
going to be cool.
loaded with these moments that are going to be frustrating, almost like teeth gnashing, but when you get through those encounters, you're going to feel like really accomplished.
Double rewards, yeah.
As people who have worked on raids and dungeons before, being able to broaden that experience for any kind of player who comes in is really important.
If the Witch Queen is the psychic, detective, fantasy, and journey, then Season of the Risen is that same detective throwing on their flak jacket and defending Earth from the Hive Guardians and the Lucent Hive and Sabathun herself.
Hey, Aldrin, let's go.
Sabathun shows up.
Wait,
on
who
her
was that?
doorstep
Was
with
that?
the light, the
I
first
assume that wasn't any special guardian.
Defending Earth from the Hive Guardians and the Lucent Hive.
Yeah,
and
that's just
Sabathun
your
herself.
guardian.
The
Okay.
first person to lend us help is Kaido.
Nice, Kyle's back. And thank God she's back.
She's got
Like,
the
it was
pricing
such a cool
technology
character. I'm
that
glad
we're
she's back.
using in season of
Guys, they
Chosen,
just didn't
and now
drop
she's
her.
going to help us use that against the Lucent Hive.
When you're working with Kaya Tal, she has a different approach. It's not about asking questions, it's about getting in there and extracting.
We don't really understand what happened when Sabathun actually was able to take light. So the campaign in Season of the Risen in many ways is about that story. Guardians need to stop Sabathun's advance beyond the throne world. And Sabathun poses an existential threat to everyone because she basically has an undead army.
In fighting the Lucent Brood, this isn't our first time in the game fighting other light bearers, but it is the first time that we'll be facing other light bearers that have much more.
All good. I'll see you later, Misa.
When you look at these Hive Guardians and when they do their abilities, you
Good luck with your
immediately
exam
make
as well.
that connection, like, oh, they are using my powers against me. As soon as we see the Knight pop its super and it has 2 shields, you immediately are like, oh yeah, I see that connection, and then it's like, and then you're like, it hits you with those things, and then you're dead, and it's just an amazing experience.
The Guardians themselves kind of feel like a fire team that you're fighting against. You've got every class represented.
The Acolyte, when that character casts, does very similar thing as the player, like the Arc Wizard. The sparks go out, it's ready to go.
Cool.
If you're not smart about it, if you're not paying attention, you are essentially going to have to play that fight over again.
If you're successful in taking down one of these Hive units that are wielding the light, you actually have to go up and kill their ghosts.
That was like one of my favorite things that we were able to do in this game is just that moment where you crush the ghost.
It's kind of this moral dilemma. A ghost is your companion, and now suddenly you have one in your hand and you're about to crush it.
The first time it happens, you're like looking at your hand like, I can't believe what I've just done. Am I doing this? Should I be doing this?
I have a ghost.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What does this mean?
That's cool.
Sabathun and her Lucent Brood are
The
the
new
most
Hive
dangerous
look cool.
enemies we've faced so far. And so we're going to need better, more powerful weapons and tools to fight against that threat.
We did a bunch of work early on looking at various different types of weapons we could add to the sandbox.
We wanted to introduce a special weapon archetype that was effective more at a middle range, but also had these kind of additional roles associated with it. The glaive is a projectile weapon, and it is a shield, and it's a melee weapon.
We wanted to keep that experience in first person. It has an immediacy that you don't really get when you're using a sword because the camera is so much further back. Because this is also a projectile weapon with a slower moving projectile, the onus of skill on aiming these weapons is about leading and compensating for the speed of the projectile and anticipating that. If you're in a really difficult encounter and one of your teammates dies somewhere out in the open where you normally wouldn't be able to get to them, you can bring that shield up and actually get the revive and then fall back. Glaives originate with Sabathun trying to steal an extremely powerful weapon for her own use, and players will use the weapon crafting recipes that they find throughout the campaign in order to reconstruct this incredibly powerful and incredibly ancient weapon.
Yeah.
When you put together your glaive in the campaign, you just get a taste that that's what you want to do for the rest of the weapons that you get.
Weapon crafting lets you target a specific role and go and build that, and you know how long it's going to take you to get there, and you get exactly the thing that you want.
I really want to see what people do with it and like the feedback that we're gonna get and people sharing all of the things that they're doing with that new system.
You're creating your guardian and you want to be able to shape your guardian into what you want them to be. And this gives us a great opportunity to continue
This
to
looks
do that.
so cool. I'm so excited for weapon crafting. It's something I've wanted for Destiny for a while.
For weapons in particular. We've got 8 brand new exotics.
8?
The Osteostriga exotic submachine gun. This is something which Guardians have made, but it's modeled after weapons of sorrow, like Thorn and Touch of Malice. Fires swarms of tiny homing projectiles.
It's another weapon of sorrow? Ooh.
This poison burst. We have an exotic machine gun where the whole idea is be the Colossus. You can launch a barrage of up to 20 homing missiles.
It's a comical amount of projectiles on the screen.
It looks just like dubious. No, what? Warcliffe Coil. That's it.
Deeply into the mechanics of the classes. I think they're going to be really cool additions.
Oh wait, they're exotics. Oh, that's like the swords from Taken King. That's so cool.
We counted up this morning. I think it's about 50 new weapons.
You're going to have 2 new exotic armor for each class, totaling 6, 1 stasis, 1 non-stasis. The Titan stasis exotic. Cast your barricade, and instead of, this Traveler's Light and the Rally Barricade, you create a giant wall of ice. Even though this thing is massive, you still get all the benefits of a Rally Barricade.
Ooh, if it lasts longer, that could be really good.
We called them the Devouring Rift legs because we wanted Empowering Rift to feel like it had a place in endgame content the way that Healing Rift does. Empowering Rift doesn't heal you. Well, what if it did?
What? I'm loving that already. That's an amazing like.
To the Void subclass system across all 3 classes. This is a huge update and will allow players to build craft in ways that they've never done before.
One of the things we wanted to do is create a core set of verbs.
I'll have a look at those later.
Anyone can run suppressor.
I'll look at the fragment to the bit and we'll look at them in detail.
I'm going to be running suppressor grenade probably.
Yeah, suppressor grenade can be used.
You were the energy vampire. Feel like you were the Night Stalker. Feel like you were that protector, that big Sentinel Titan. So you're going to see things like Bastion, a new Titan aspect, where you take your big old Sentinel shield, slam it into the ground, and create this void barricade that's going to apply overshield to you and your buddies.
My favorite aspect is probably Child of the Old Gods. As this warlock controlling space and time, I'm able to rip a hole into another dimension and then pull out this little sentient black hole. Whenever I target an enemy, my little black hole buddy is going to fly over there and start draining their life force.
Oh, that's so cool.
Is really setting the stage.
Okay, the Void 3.0 updates. Excited. And I'm excited for the other ones, the Arc and Solar ones.
To Solar and Arc. Solar obviously is going to be about burning, but there's this other component to Solar, and that's healing. Arc is all about chaining. It's all about lightning, direct attacks, quickness. We're going to take the fantasies that you know and love today. We're going to embellish them. So what you'll see is like all of the new abilities, all the new actions you take, reinforce that to the core. Pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Witch Queen is very much the culmination of the last 6 to 7 years of just Destiny all together. And really, this is starting the road to the final showdown. But things aren't necessarily just dark and light anymore.
Well, Saladin is going to get angry with Kaito. There we go.
It's going to be a real fight. Players have something that they're really going to be challenged by.
Yeah.
I can't wait for everyone to find out what's been going on with Sabathun. Like, I'm excited.
Oh, hi. I'm excited as well.
Aren't you?
From the throne world
style, to the campaign, to the customizable build crafting. It all comes together to make Destiny feel really new and fresh.
We've got more Destiny coming this year than any other year before. It's one of the most ambitious releases we've ever put together, and the team is firing on all cylinders.
Tell me, Guardian, what do you think you're going to do?
Say it. Say, is that it? Oh. Okay, right. Let's quickly go back. I want to have a look at those void aspects before we finish, and then we're gonna have a little bit more detailed look at those void aspects because I do want to have a look at those a bit more in detail.
They've never done.
So here we are. Right, we've got. So let me put the playback speed 0.25. Let me just turn it down because it's gonna be like really slow. So that was stasis. We're bored of stasis now. Here we are. So melee final blows grant bonus grunt grenade engine. Okay, it's not too bad. That's not like it could be pretty useful. Your lingering grenade effects, vortex grenade, void walls, void spike have so increased duration on like AoE grenades. Final blows when surrounded by combatants. That's going to be pretty good. That one will be good. Ah, they didn't show us the last one. Okay, so Chaos Accelerant. Hold LB, press or hold to overcharge grenade, making it deadlier. Vortex grenade. Okay, so it's the old. It's the void top tree or bottom tree. I think it's top tree. Yes, I think it's the top tree. Thingy. But now we get it on all characters. So it used to be Warlock's top tree, but now we get it on all characters. So the Vortex Grenade obviously is probably the same thing. Lingers a bit longer, has the bigger duration. Axiom Bolt has a bigger size, has an additional Seeker. I don't think that was what it used to have. So that's cool. Scatter Grenade now has submissions that track targets. Really cool. Okay. And then Magnetic Grenade has releases a short Void Blast. Okay. So it's going to do like a bit more damage. Okay. That's not too bad. And then the next one, Chaos, Child of the Old Gods. Casting your Rift. Oh, wait, no, that means that we're getting all the grenades on Warlock. That means every class is going to have all the grenades. Oh, that's really interesting. Huh. I wonder what made them decide that. Interesting. And assume then the abilities section. So we got the melee there, which is for some reason it's Shadebinder melee, so that's kind of confusing. Maybe they'll change that in the future because I assume it will be the same one. We got so we'll have all the grenades, and then I assume that second slot it's probably ultimate, so you can change your ult based on which one you want to use. So, which is kind of a bad dilemma because that means that then if you've played Destiny 2, you know about Well of Radiance, which is like the most broken super for PvE content or player versus enemy content, where you basically don't die as soon as you pop it down. So, a bit worrying that maybe potentially may make well even stronger, but we'll see. Oh, means to follow. Thank you. Right, let's continue and we'll see what the rest of it goes.
Anyone can run Subclasses.
I think that was it. Okay. Right. So. Alright, we'll hide this now. Don't know what's going on with the chat there, but there you go. Cool. Right.